Hello everyone, welcome back. So my name is Sushant and we are going to see in this section the Bicep. Bicep is a Microsoft product basically and it is introduced after the ARM template. So there are the Bicep basically do the provision of your Azure resources, but Bicep is quite simple. Okay, so earlier we are using the ARM templates, basically nothing but it is just JSON based files we are just providing to the ARM APIs and it was provisioning the resources. Now in infrastructure as a code, there are a lot of tools are in the market. So Microsoft 2 years, 3 years back, Microsoft just brought another product that is a Bicep. Bicep is again a domain specific language. Okay, so what basically Bicep is? Okay, so Bicep is basically a domain specific language that use a declarative syntax to deploy Azure resources. So we are using the ARM templates, Azure Resource Manager template. So that is we have to follow the syntax of ARM template, like we have to construct everything in a JSON based file. But in Bicep file, you can define the infrastructure you want to deploy in Azure. So how you can define the infrastructure into the Bicep file. Difference between ARM and Bicep is a lot more. Okay, if suppose we want to say what Bicep is nothing but just a wrapper or the ARM template. But if you see the syntax wise, if you see the construction or declarative wise, you will feel a lot much simpler than the JSON based ARM template. Okay, again the Bicep is just reliable type of safety and code support for or reuse code. Bicep again offers very good first class authorizing experience for your infrastructure as a code in the Azure. Okay, that is in Bicep. So let's see the Bicep benefits. Okay, so what basically the Bicep offers, or what we can, or what is the Bicep provide of advantages? Okay, if we are going to use the Bicep, Bicep support for all resource types and API versions. Okay, Bicep is a Microsoft product, so it support all preview and general available versions for Azure services. Okay, so whenever a new service or new resource added into the Azure services, as soon as it starts supporting into the Bicep, okay, you can use that resource or you can code that resource in your Bicep template. You don't need to wait for such a period where it will support or not. Okay, so it is just support all your resources. Again, Bicep is much simpler as a syntax wise, because earlier when we are using the JSON template, so we have to take care of our curly braces, indentation, then colons, again the square braces, everything. Like if suppose we want to write a function, then we have to take care about the quotation marks. Okay, we have to place a quotation mark in proper way. We will see the simpler how it is. Okay, so we don't need it that much complex thing with Bicep. Bicep requires no previous knowledge on the programming language. You can just start write a single line for your resources. So we will see how in next session I'm going to schedule some, or after this one we will see how we can use. So Bicep is nothing but repeatable result. Okay, so you can just repeatedly deploy your infrastructure through the development life cycle and have the confidence your resources are deployed in the consistent manner. So again, Bicep files are idempotent, which means you can deploy the same file many times and get the same resource type in the same state. So whatever the resource you are going to deploy, and if that resource is already in exist, so it will not disturb that resource. Okay, so rather than developing a lot of separate files, you can present an updates. So authorizing experience is nothing but, you suppose you are using the VS code for your Bicep. Okay, so you will feel like it is just intelligence, and the syntax validation is very very good. Okay, and you will get a lot of help by intelligence and syntax validation while writing your template. So here you will not mismatch your syntax with other language like that one. The orchestration perspective you see, so you don't have to worry about complexities of ordering the operation. So the orchestration, the type like where we have to just set a dependencies on ARM template. Even we are setting a dependencies in the Terraform as well. So before a specific resource, a few resources to be present, like if suppose I want to deploy a resource group and storage account at the same template, so I have to make sure that my resource group should be present first and provision first, and then my storage account should be provision after that one. So I have to specify the dependencies. But in Bicep, you don't need, or you don't worry about it, because the resource manager orchestrate the deployment of the interdependent resources. So they will automatically create the correct order. So you don't need to be think about it. If suppose we are just giving the parallel resources to deployment, so the resource manager orchestrate, it will be very difficult, and it will be just put in your proper manner. So next benefit is modularity. So we can break our Bicep file into the manageable parts. We don't require just write a single type of file. So earlier we are doing the template file, so we are writing such a long resources or such a multiple resources in a single file. Now we can set a module, create a module, so we can create a different set of resources into the one file, and we can call into the main file. So it is very good in the modularity. This next is integration with Azure services. So in respect to the ARM template was quite integrated with the Azure services. But again, the same thing is happening with the Bicep. Bicep is integrated with the all other services such as Azure policy, blueprints, and the template specification. So next, benefits is preview changes. So if suppose you have deploy the ARM template, so we are using what if command to just check the, if suppose what I have code into the ARM template, so what will happen after deployment. Okay, but in Bicep we have the whatever operation again to just get a preview of your changes before deploying the any Bicep file. So it will just give the preview of changes. Again, it will just give what we are going to update or create or delete any resources property that will be changed during the deployment. In the next benefit is no state or state file to manage. So if you compare the Bicep or with the Terraform, so in Terraform we have to maintain our state files, but in Bicep we don't require it. Okay, all state is stored in Azure. User can collaborate and have confidence their update are handled as expected. So we don't require to manage a state file again. So that is one of the biggest benefit, because if we are going to deploy any resources using the Terraform, so it is again we have to maintain our state file very well manner. Otherwise we will mess up with the resources. Again, we have to just import that resource ID, and we have to write everything with a new template. Okay, and then nothing but last one is no cost and open source. So first time Microsoft is providing this one for the resource one. Even the ARM was free of cost. The Bicep is completely free. We don't need any premium capabilities or enterprise level license agreement, nothing else. And again, one of the goodies, it's also supported by the Microsoft support. If suppose you have any issues, so you can raise the service support and they will help you on that part. So that's it from Bicep and Bicep benefits. In next section, what we'll do, we are going to set up or install the tools, whatever we require for the Bicep development, and we will create our development environment. We will just install the VS Code extension. We'll configure the Bicep to use to build our template files, and we'll start with the Bicep development. Okay, so Bicep, isn't it just programming language to write an application? So Bicep files is a declarative Azure resource and resource property without writing a sequence of program commands to create a resource. So it is just a declarative approach to just create a resources. Means when we are just going with a graphical user interface, we are creating the manually resources like VMs, a virtual machine VM skill set, storage account, traffic manager, application management gateways. So the same way we are just writing into the commands, and that will be repeatably we can use. So we have seen the benefits from the part of the Bicep is providing, or Microsoft is providing or offering through the Bicep. So it is very good if suppose you are just using the Microsoft products, or just you are using the Azure cloud services. So this is one of the very good. So you don't require to manage a state file. Again, we have the modularity. Earlier we don't have that part, so we have the nested template, link template, nested template we are using. But now we have the modules. We can call the modules. We can write a small files, and we can call the models. The same way we have the orchestration, means nothing but we don't have to maintain the dependencies or depend resources. Now the ARM template orchestrator, it will be automatically create a sequence of your resources. Again, the Bicep is very good in syntax level. It is just providing the simple syntax. Okay, so let's just have the look of the Bicep. So this is just Bicep file, how we can create the Bicep file. It is nothing but just extension of your file. It should be a Bicep. The Bicep tools need to be installed. The extension on the VS Code should be installed, and the IntelliSense is very good. The syntax validator is very good. If suppose, so if I'll type the resource res, okay, so these are the Bicep IntelliSense. So it will just allow us to just create the resources. Okay, again, intelligence is very good. Resources, if I'll type, then I can just give the identical name of that resource, like storage account. Okay, and then I will get the ARM template APIs, or the Azure resource types, basically we call in the ARM. So here I will just type storage, so it will just give the storage, and I will just hit tab. The tab completion is very good. Again, we don't require to remember the APIs or go to the ARM template page to just memorize or just look up the APIs. So every API is here, so you can just tab here. Then if you suppose the existing resource, you can just select this one. If suppose you are going to create a new one, so you can just use as it is equal to. Once you will place is equal to, then it will again give the required property you want, or for loop you want, or you want to just index. So if suppose you want to use if, so everything is very good into the Bicep. So as So we'll stop here for the introduction session of the Bicep. In next session, we are going to configure our environment and get started with the Bicep DSL. Okay. Hope you like this video and you will share this video with your friends. Okay. We'll continue by just going one step ahead to infrastructure as a code with a Bicep. See you soon. Bye bye.